So, guys, we are going to get into our honorable mentions. These are going to be a little bit more brief segments or brief topics. We're not going to get into a deep dive of these games. This is just a segment, or should I say, section of football that we want to just, mention at least some good portions or some bad parts each and every week. Games that we don't have the time, unfortunately, to deep dive in. Otherwise, we'd be here for 2+ hours every Sunday. And we all have day jobs, so we're going to cut this short. The Indianapolis Colts fall short to the Los Angeles Rams by the score of 27-24. Carson Wentz ends up exiting that game with an apparent ankle injury. Frank Reich has failed to comment or acknowledge the severity of it, so we'll play that by ear. On the opposite side, Matthew Stafford looked pretty good. Matt Stafford goes for 278, 2 touchdowns and an interception. They really did us in on the receiving end. Cooper Kupp just completely annihilated us for 163 and 2 touchdowns. The man was pretty much open all day, and there was no way to stop him. On the defensive side of the ball, the Colts pretty much just looked completely lost in a lot of ways. I mean, blown coverages left and right. We didn't really have ways to protect Carson and keep him upright, henceforth why he was hurt. On a big bright note, though, Eric Fisher did play today for the first time since rupturing his Achilles, or tearing his Achilles, should I say, in the AFC Championship last year. So that's great. I really, really have to stress the sheer fact that our sole reason that Carson is getting annihilated is because our reserve tackle, I forget his first name, but his last name is Davenport. He is literally graded one of the worst, if not the worst tackle in the NFL, and the majority of the rushes are coming from his side. Last week he played left. This week he played right, and we were out Braden Smith, so hopefully when Braden returns, we will be able to play a little bit better. But again, the Rams go on to 2-0. The Colts go down to 0-2 in a division game that's coming up next week with the Titans. We are definitely going to have to win this game, but with Carson's status being up in the air, I believe that this is going to be a very, very, very close decision. I personally think, from what I saw, he'll miss some time because a high ankle sprain, depending on if it was on his bad foot or not, he could be out up to 2 to 3 weeks. So we're just going to have to play it by ear. And the Rams obviously have their big enough game coming up with the Buccaneers next week. So going to be a good week for football next week. But in terms of me as an individual fan, not happy to see the Colts are struggling this much, especially in a department in which we told Carson we have the best offensive line, and he's been shown the complete opposite. So not happy where we're going with that. The next game I want to mention on my side is definitely going to be the Broncos and the Jaguars. The Broncos do move to 2-0 in their season thus far. The Jaguars fall to 0-2. If I'm being honest, I don't think I saw Teddy Bridgewater personally playing as well as he's been playing. Obviously, Cortland Sutton had an absolutely incredible game. With Jerry Jeudy being out, somebody had to step up, and he did just that. 159 yards and 9 receptions. He was targeted 12 times. Teddy went for 328, 2 touchdowns, averaging just under 10 yards per throw, QBR of 61, and a passer rating of 125. They did not get it done on the ground. Jacksonville's rush defense did play very well. They ran the ball 30 times. They only had 96 yards on the ground, so that's 3.2 yards per carry. But overall, the Broncos are playing very good defense. The Broncos are playing good offense. And I think that this is going to be a big surprise for a lot of people just because Teddy being named the starter like a few days before the season started, Teddy being acquired in the offseason via trade, I just did not expect him to play this well. And, Jacksonville being 0-2 with Trevor Lawrence at the helm and, the inconsistencies throughout the organization is no surprise. So I will let Trevor suffer out there in Jacksonville. That is his problem. That's Urban Meyer's problem. But on the Denver side, definitely shocked, definitely happy for them. I know Von Miller didn't play last year, but super happy to see that he's playing competitive football again. Patrick Surtain Jr. playing really good football as well. Justin Simmons. So good on Denver, but I'm bouncing it over to you, Kyle. What are your games to mention?
All right, so the first one I'm going to go over is going to be the Patriots and Jets game. So the Patriots won against the Jets 25-6. This was Mac Jones. This was his first win as the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. I thought, relatively speaking, he was solid. He was efficient once again, completing over 70% of his passes. He only threw for 188 yards, didn't have any touchdowns, but they're keeping it relatively safe with him. He's not forcing the ball into dangerous windows or really tight spaces yet. They're keeping the offense simple for him, and it's been working so far. They've definitely made more of a focus on trying to run the ball this season. We saw Damian Harris bounce back in this game against the Jets. He had a phenomenal, I believe it was like a 25 to 30 yard run where he broke 7 tackles on this play against the Jets defense, where he was able to score a touchdown for them. It was one of the more better runs of the year, and it's a huge bounce back moment for him since last week against the Miami Dolphins. He squandered a huge opportunity by fumbling the ball at the end of the game against the Dolphins, which the Patriots ended up losing. But the main focus that I want to hit on here is Zach Wilson and the Jets. Zach Wilson, granted, he's a rookie, and this is his second game as a starter for the Jets. He had a really bad game today. I'm not going to be super critical of Zach because he's a rookie. But today was a really bad day for him. He had 4 interceptions. It is kind of reminiscent of Sam Darnold seeing ghosts when he was playing against the Patriots a couple years ago, when he was throwing turnover left and right against New England's defense on a Monday Night Football game. So Zach's on some of these interceptions. Some of these were tip passes. Some of these just didn't go his way. I believe the 4th one he had was just a really, really bad throw. But yeah, this is not a performance that you want your rookie quarterback to have in his second outing as the starting quarterback. I mean, by and large, the Jets were relatively anemic today on offense by only scoring 6 points. They had some success running the ball, but being down against New England, it kind of forced them to pass the ball more, and Zach Wilson really didn't make that much of a effective effort against New England's defense. And the Jets are sitting here 0-2, and granted, going up against New England, and New England just continues their success against rookie quarterbacks. I think I heard a stat today that when Bill Belichick is coaching against a rookie quarterback, the rookie quarterbacks have thrown for 21 touchdowns to like 43 or like 44 interceptions. So they are really making their mark defensively against rookie quarterbacks, and it just kind of continues the trend that rookie quarterbacks really struggle against a Bill Belichick-led defense, and that was pretty much the result today. So get the Patriots credit. They bounced back to a 500 record, and the Jets, they just look like they continue to be the Jets, and unfortunately, Zach Wilson just didn't get it done today. So hopefully he can bounce back from it, because this is a game that you want to put in the rearview mirror very quickly. So, I mean, the New York media absolutely crushed him today by asking him, was he seeing ghosts in the post-game press conference, and he shut that down pretty quickly. So hopefully he can bounce back from this sooner rather than later. And then the second game that I want to focus on is the Carolina Panthers beating the New Orleans Saints. So Carolina is sitting at 2-0, and that is really kind of a surprise to me, just because I didn't think Carolina was going to be that effective this year. With Sam Darnold, I mean, he's a mid-level quarterback. He's average at best, in my opinion, but he's been playing phenomenal. And he had a really good performance against the New Orleans Saints today. Threw for 305 yards, 26 of 38 passing, had 2 touchdowns. Did have the 1 interception. That's really kind of the only knock I can have against him today. They got a really good production day from Christian McCaffrey. He had 24 carries, 72 yards, had a touchdown on the ground. He also had 5 catches for 65 yards in the passing game. But by and large, I thought the main focus here for Carolina was their defense. They held the New Orleans Saints to 7 points. They were able to sack Jameis Winston 4 times today. They also forced 2 interceptions from Jameis Winston. So they were able to make some solid plays defensively. And when I look at Carolina's defense, the point of emphasis is New Orleans' third down efficiency. They were 2 of 11. So Carolina, when presented a third down opportunity, they were able to get the New Orleans Saints off the field. And the stats reflect that. 2 of 11 on third down for the Saints. That's not what you want to have, but that's exactly what you want to have if you're the Carolina Panthers. And look, in the NFC South, I thought that the Bucs would be, pretty much the cream of the crop, just because it's Brady in the offense just humming, and the defense is opportunistic when opportunities present themselves. But I'm actually surprised at how well Carolina has played the first 2 weeks. Granted, they will be playing against the Buccaneers at some point later in the season, so that'll be a really good test for them. But gotta give credit where credit is due. I didn't think that Carolina would be sitting here at 2-0 after week 2, but they have proven me wrong, and they've looked pretty good in the process so far. So gotta give some shine to Carolina, and those 2 games in particular with the Patriots, Jets, and the Saints and the Panthers are my honorable mentions for games this week.